Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, popular cooking show host, magazine food editor and author Herman Lensing has released his 6th cookbook titled Home Cooking. Unlike his previous books, this one also sees him sharing friends' recipes as well as many he discovered during his journeys throughout South Africa. Herman joins us now on Zoom to tell us more about his culinary story and his latest project. Herman, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live. I suppose before we get into the book, let's just get to know you better. Take us through your culinary journey from where it all started and where it is now.
Good morning, Lebo. So I grew up in a typical South African home in Uppington. I'm a small town boy. I absolutely love South Africa. I mean, this country is an amazing country, a mix of people and the stories we got here. And growing up in a small town, I just grew up in a typical home where food was the center of everything we did. And I grew up in a house where I knew that food had a magical power to change people's lives. And I always wanted to do something that can take that power of food and bring people together and share it. And I ended up as the food editor of Sari Course, and rest is history.
Yeah.
My recipe every day.
Let's talk about this latest project now, Home Cooking. What is it about?
So home cooking tells the story of typical South African food. I think our friend COVID, if she taught us one thing, is that more than ever we are aware of simplicity in life. You know, the simple things matters. And home cooking was inspired by exactly that. So I've been fortunate enough to travel the country with my job, and I've met many amazing people. So the stories and the recipes in the book are exactly those things. It's people who inspire me to cook. It's recipes I got on my travels. And it's simple and easy food. I always joke and I say, if you can cook with ingredients you find from Pretoria to Pofadder, straight through to Prieska, everyone can cook those recipes. And those are exactly what's in this book.
I want to talk about those recipes, 80 of them. Take us through some of them and the inspiration behind some of your favorites in there.
Oh, you can never ask an author which one is his favorite. It's like asking a mom which is his favorite child. You can't do that. No, there's so many, but I've divided the book into a typical way that I think South Africans live their life. You know, there's recipes you can eat outside. We've got one, we all know our weather is amazing. So there's like cold room temperature recipes. Think about like snoek cookies with a beautiful green sauce. There's obviously your classic recipes like a green bean biryani, and there's boboties and frikadelles and all those beautiful things. And then obviously desserts. I love dessert. If I find myself in heaven, it will probably be a chocolate bowl. And so there's lots of recipes, simple things like a classic trifle, straight through the beautiful baked puddings like lemon puddings and chocolate puddings and all those beautiful, really simplicity food that we grew up with, you know, chocolate tarts, simple things.
And I want to talk about that. I mean, why can people relate to those so much? The classics that we grew up with, boboti, that is also part of the book.
I think there's something to say about, you know, generational recipes. I've been reading a lot about trends, and they call them single generation recipes, and things that get passed on from our grandmothers to us. And I think the younger generation now is very much aware of nostalgia, you know, and we long for something that's honest, real, and true. We don't want to eat something we're not sure what it is, you know. And there's comfort in those things that we trust and things that we know. The comfort of a mom's boboti or a mother's biryani or a bowl of beautiful, you know, soft porridge in the morning with a spoonful of butter. That's simplicity, but it comes with a huge gift of a little hug that you receive with each spoonful you take. And that's what we want, and that's what we need.
Now, each chapter reflects your love of food and people, accompanied by, you know, entertaining anecdotes. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so it's very important for me. In the end, I'm still an author. So food is the main character of this book. I speak of my books as personality she. This one is a feminine book. So the food is the main character in her story, but then I like to write little stories where I found that recipe. Because immediately if there's a narrative to a recipe, someone can connect to it, you know. It's not just a Google search. You open the pages, there's a beautiful story of either how I traveled, things that I remembered, things that I've seen. Because I like to observe life, and that's exactly what I do. So I write these little things I see on my travels, and then immediately someone can connect with that recipe. And that's the entry point into cooking it. If you have emotional connection with what you read on the pages, immediately you want to cook it. That's important to me.
Now, this being your 6th cookbook, tell us more about how your love, passion, and, you know, advocacy for good food and home cooking have evolved over the years.
Yeah, I'm a big fighter for, first of all, respecting ingredients. You know, I always tell people when you walk into a supermarket and you pick up something, there's a whole chain of people behind that we never get to say thank you for. So that's the one thing I fight for a lot. Especially in this book, I make people aware of respecting ingredients, respecting producers, respecting suppliers, and also just advocating that everyone can cook. Food is that one gift that you have to bring people together. Food is never angry. Food forgives. If you eat food, everything is okay. So this book empowers everyone to cook. I don't like it if people say, no, I'm a very bad cook. If you can read, you can go to the moon. That's what I believe. And this is what this book is for. You can read, you can walk into the kitchen and cook with confidence. My food don't judge you. It's about having a great experience while you're cooking it.
Food is delicious. Let's start there.
Yes.
I know you said you can't choose a recipe, but which one has a special place in your heart out of all the recipes? I know you said you're a dessert person. Apart from the desserts, let's talk about the savory stuff. Which one has a special place in your heart?
There's a beautiful, beautiful lamb and green bean stew in the book, which comes from a friend called Arina. Arina is a name. And it's got a very special place in my heart. I grew up with green beans, and then moving from the Northern Cape to Cape Town, I discovered waterblommetjies. I don't know if a lot of people know about them because I never knew it. So this bready sort of green beans, but it reminds me of my student years growing up and finding the flavor of green beans. And as a student, a student never has money. We're all always suffering. So I used to miss my mom a lot, and then I would eat bready if I miss her. So this got a very special place in my heart, especially Arina's recipe.
Now, this book is going to appeal to, your home cooks, your cookbook collectors, South African cuisine lovers. How has all those passionate about food, how do you think they were going to receive it?
Look, if you buy this book, it's not an experiment. It's nothing new. It's not trendy food. This is the DNA of what South Africa represents. It's a typical Afrikaans food. It's about simplicity. This is food that we know, but it's important that we never forget where we came from. There's certain things that we eat that's part of our roots. Especially for me, it's important to tell my story and to share my story through food. So for those people who are avid book collectors, this has to be on your shelf because it's part of our story, about our Afrikaans food story. And I always joke, I say home cooking is English recipes, but with an Afrikaans undertone. So it's basically a bit of Afrikaans heritage.
Yeah. So Herman, it's Sunday. What are you making for Sondagkos?
Oh, for Sondagkos. Listen, my day on a Sunday always starts with a leftover braai broodjie from last night's braai with a cup of sweet tea. That's
right.
You can't argue about that. And then for lunch, probably today it's very hot in Cape Town. We're all lying by the pool, so it'll be cool, cold things. I think I'm gonna make a potato salad and a nice roast chicken. Simple. Yeah. Lazy on Sundays.
All right. All right.
You must come for lunch. You must come.
Oh, no, we're coming. We're coming for lunch. Definitely. The team are now on our way to Cape Town now as we speak. Herman Lensing, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with the book. Popular cooking show host, magazine food editor, Herman Lensing, speaking to us about his latest offering. It's his 6th cookbook titled Home Cooking that is available at exclusive books and stores across the country. All right. Our last interview of the show after this. Stay with us.